Good morning, everybody. Sean here, the Detroit Diz, and it's another beautiful day in the D, other than it's raining and it's about 73 degrees, hot and humid outside. But other than that, it's a great, big, beautiful Monday, August 17th, 2026. Hey, before we go jumping right into things, into today's title, if you don't mind, mashing that subscribe button. We're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. And as we narrow down to our goal, you can help us out by just simply mashing that subscribe button to support our channel. Each and every single one of our subscribers, we really appreciate you. And if you're going to hit that subscribe button, we appreciate you also. So anyways, thanks for helping us out and following us along on our YouTube journey. So, it's Monday. Here in Michigan, the kiddos are not back in school until another couple of weeks, and then they go back to school, and then they have immediately the Labor Day weekend off, including the Labor Day Monday. And then they go back to school full time, unlike Florida. Anyhow, so it's a great, big, beautiful today. I'm pretty excited for the day to get started. But yeah, we have a few stories. Been watching what's going on at D23. Yesterday was the FedEx Championship, St. Jude. They make a lot of money for Children's Hospital, St. Jude. And I was pretty happy that Scotty Scheffler won. Yep. He usually since 2019, the person who wins the FedEx Cup also wins the PGA Championship that's coming up. That's in another, it's 2 weeks. And what else has been happening? Tigers blew their chances to take over the division They lost 3 games in a row to the Chicago White Sox. That kind of sucked. And the Dream Cruise, the historic Dream Cruise, we went live for the Dream Cruise. You can watch the replay. It's about 2 hours long. Some chit-chatter back and forth. But we enjoyed ourselves. A lot of people watching from the car, driving the Dream Cruise. I want to say driving, but it was more like a creep along. It was like a giant traffic jam for 4 miles, with a lot of exciting stuff happening on the side of the road, etc., etc. They're looking at us, we're looking at them, and yeah, it was an interesting time. You probably do. Somebody said you probably get more view time of what happens at the Dream Cruise from just sitting in one place. That is probably true. Probably true. You probably see a lot more sitting at one place and then going for a long walk. But we didn't do any of that. We drove just to see everything that's happening along the route. So back to back to the information at hand, which is what happened at D23 over this weekend. Let's kind of get started. First of all, I want to preface this with the fact that I did watch somebody on Instagram, and they were blasting away that D23 was great for the places like where you had all the models and stuff like that set up for the things where you could see the different lands and the Imagineer models and that kind of stuff. But other than that, they said that the content of it was like, here's this idea, here's that idea, here's this, we're fixing that. And there was some timelines, and then there was no timelines. And then they just kind of give you an update, which the Imagineers gave an update a couple of days anyways, but they gave an update of like what's happening currently and when the current stuff they're working on might get finished. And yeah, so a lot of the stuff that's already going on, they're like, yeah, we're digging this dirt, we're plowing this right here, we're working on that, but nothing too exciting. It's just kind of all still prepping and getting ready for iron work, laying the foundations. So, yeah, I guess people were kind of upset about that there wasn't any more information about really anything too exciting about the current projects that we're in. But there was a lot of talk about them and what the future of the parks hold. Now, if you don't remember, recently, if you didn't know, recently the Florida Tours, Central Orlando Tours Board or whatever it is, they came out and they said, hey, Disney, you can go ahead and expand. And they had so many square miles that they could do that, and they are going to expand. That's like I just let you into a big secret, but let me expand on that. So for a long time, Disney D23 was touting, we're going to have Villains Land, and Villains Land has been the talk for a while now, and finally, they decided now that they're going to expand beyond Big Thunder Mountain, and behind that will be, in that general vicinity, will be the new Villains Land. And they've actually come up with some rides. I don't remember the names of them, but they've come up with some rides that are going to be partaking in the Villains Land, That's going to be really a great treat here, that we get some rides in Villains Land. Also, let's go back and talk about some things. I made a TikTok video based on a news article that the Dreamfinder was coming to Figment. Journey into Imagination. That did come about. So, if you're a fan of Figment, if you're a fan of Journey into Imagination, if you like the Dreamfinder coming back, it's happening. Believe it or not. Yeah. I'm not sure if Neil Patrick Harris is part of it or not. That part I'm not for sure about 100%. But what I can say, it's going to be really, really great. Anyhow, so another thing that's happening, and people have been talking about this, and I swear they may have talked about this last year, but they keep on touting us with fixing the doggone Yeti Everest ride in the Animal Kingdom. The Yeti, if you didn't know this, is broken. It only works in one mode, and there's supposed to be a more scarier mode it's supposed to be happening where it looks like the Yeti is coming down street to you, about to touch you or something like that. I've never rode it during that period of time, but yeah, that's a thing that's happening. And yeah, so the Yeti is supposedly getting fixed. Another thing that they talked about several years ago, before the pandemic ever hit, that they were going to do something with Spaceship Earth and update it. Well, they've announced it again. I don't know when it's going to happen, but they've talked about it and they announced, hey, this is happening. So we'll have to see what happens with Spaceship Earth, whether it gets an update like Carousel Progress or not. We just have to wait. You know what I'm saying? It's a waiting game. They also announced in the Tropical America's Place, where Dino Land used to be, they've talked about a couple of rides excuse me, that were happening in that area. One of them being the Indiana Jones ride. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the Indiana Jones ride to happen. That's going to be really, really great. There will be some they're doing some updates to this fence here. Yeah, the Indiana Jones ride will be really a spectacular one. It will. I think it's the Jade Serpent or something like that, and have a storyline based on it. And on top of that, Harrison Ford said they're going to make an animatronic based on his likeness. That's even really great. Harrison Ford will live on forever. The whole theme kind of reminded me of when I used to play World of Warcraft, and there was this guy that Harrison Ford played, and yeah, that kind of reminded me of that. Anyways, so that's new. That's new stuff. So we mentioned that. Let's see here, Epcot, Spaceship Earth, and yeah, so a lot of things that they talked about, they had some renditions and a little bit of information here and there. And I do say that, yes, there's, some things are not even starting up yet. They're just talking about them. But I really think that it will be some good things coming about in the future. I mean, look, they're spending a lot of money right now. The parks are in disarray, and you can't be having everything under construction. But accordingly, they've already started on clearing out and starting on Villain's Land, which is beyond Big Thunder Mountain. And I don't think anybody knew about that. Well, I think they sort of did know about that because they've been talking about how big they want it to be. So I cannot wait until that's completed. That's going to be a whole new land we're all going to be happy about. And then who knows what they're going to embark on. It's going to be a lot of cool things. We'll cover a little bit more as the week goes on. I'll have some deeper dives into things. And for now, we'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.